Step one of buying an investment property has to be affordability. So I've got a small example behind me. So we're basing this on a property that we've seen at £525,000. We're going to assume that we're putting down a 35% deposit, which is 183,750. And then we're using a buy-to-let mortgage rate of 4%. That's for 25 years. So with all this in mind, we're looking at a yearly cost of £21,624, right? Now, based on the rental price of this particular property I picked out, I would kind of judge the rental rate at £450 per week, which kind of gives us a yield of 4.4%, which, I mean, is in and around the London average. It's not great, don't get me wrong, but it's in and around. It's very easy to look at these figures and think, well, do you know what? Looking at my yearly mortgage rate, looking at my yearly rental income, I'm going to have 1,776 at the end of the year. But that's never going to be the case. You've always got to kind of take into consideration the tax. There's only two things certain in life, and tax is one of them. And for the purpose of this, I haven't included all the tax deductible income, so kind of rental and management fees, service charges and everything like that. This is pure basic at this stage. But based on this pure basic, looking at the example behind me, with a rental figure of 23,400 a year, depending on what tax bracket you sit in, and obviously if you sit between tax brackets, this kind of example may differ. But using the tax bracket behind me, this is a perfect example of a property that's actually going to cost you money. So based on this 23,400 you're going to be receiving, after paying tax at 20%, you're going to end up with 18,720. A 40% tax bracket, you're going to end up with 14,040. 45%, you're going to end up with 12,870. So this is where it gets really important. You're still going to have to pay that mortgage regardless. And what becomes heartbreaking is when people like myself as a managing agent move a tenant into a property and a landlord hasn't taken this into consideration and don't realise the situation that they put themselves in. That, I mean, in this case, if you're a 45% taxpayer, this property is costing you £8,754 a year. So that's after your rental's been received. If the property is empty on top of this, it's even worse. But this is something that's really important that needs to be taken into consideration. So when you're actually looking at a property to buy, make sure you are also speaking to a managing agent about the rental income. Make sure the affordability is there before you commit to the purchase.